Tonight, we'll wander through facts about the Roman Empire, a world of enduring legends, grand ambitions, and the echoes of ancient stones. The city of Rome is traditionally said to have been founded on April 21st, 753 BC. This date, calculated by the Roman scholar Varro, marked the beginning of a civilization that would shape much of the Western world. It was a day steeped in prophecy and myth, setting the stage for centuries of growth and transformation. The legendary founders of Rome were the twin brothers Romulus and Remus. According to myth, they were abandoned as infants and suckled by a she-wolf, a powerful symbol that would forever be associated with the city's origins. Their story speaks of divine intervention and a fierce, untamed spirit. Romulus ultimately founded Rome after killing his brother Remus in a dispute over the city's location. This fratricide, a dark stain at the very genesis of Rome, foreshadowed a history often marked by internal conflict and ruthless ambition. Yet from this violent beginning, a mighty city arose. If these calm explorations of history help you drift or dream, make sure to subscribe and leave in the comments the time and place you're listening from. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. The Roman kingdom, ruled by kings, preceded the Roman Republic. This early period, shrouded in the mists of legend, laid some of the fundamental social and religious structures that would endure for centuries. It was a time when the city's identity was slowly being forged. The last king of Rome, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, was overthrown in 509 BC. His tyrannical rule and the alleged rape of Lucretia by his son sparked a rebellion that led to the establishment of the Republic. This pivotal moment marked a profound shift in Roman governance and ideals. The Roman Republic was established around 509 BC. This new form of government sought to prevent the concentration of power in a single individual, distributing authority among elected officials and various assemblies. It was an ambitious experiment in collective rule. The highest elected officials in the Roman Republic were the two consuls. These individuals held supreme civil and military authority, serving for one-year terms and always acting in pairs to provide a check on power. Their annual election was a cornerstone of republican governance. The Senate was a powerful advisory body in the Roman Republic. Composed primarily of elder statesmen and former magistrates, its influence grew over time, guiding policy and lending immense prestige to its decrees. Its ancient wisdom was often seen as the bedrock of Roman stability. The 12 Tables were a set of laws inscribed on bronze tablets and publicly displayed in the Roman Forum around 450 BC. They represented Rome's first codified legal system, providing a foundation for Roman jurisprudence and ensuring greater legal equality for citizens. Their clear pronouncements brought order to a developing society. The struggle of the orders was a prolonged social conflict between the patricians and the plebeians in the early Roman Republic. This struggle, lasting for approximately 2 centuries, saw the plebeians gradually gain more political rights and protections. It was a testament to the persistent demands for justice and representation. The office of tribune of the plebs was created to protect the rights of the plebeians. These officials held sacrosanct status, meaning their persons were inviolable, and they possessed the power to veto actions by magistrates or the Senate that were deemed harmful to the common people. Their presence was a crucial check on aristocratic power. Cincinnatus was a Roman farmer who famously served as dictator in 458 BC. He was called from his plow to lead Rome against an invading army, swiftly defeated the enemy, and then immediately resigned his absolute power to return to his farm. His story became a powerful symbol of civic virtue and sass. Elfless service. Some historians still wonder whether the early accounts of the Roman kingdom and the initial years of the Republic are more myth than concrete history. The sources from this period are often much later retellings, making it challenging to separate factual events from legendary embellishments. This makes the origins of Rome a fascinating blend of historical inquiry and enduring tales. The Roman calendar originally began its year in March. This ancient tradition reflects an agricultural society where the spring equinox marked the beginning of new growth and activities. The naming of months like September, October, November, and December, meaning 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, still echoes this older system. The First Punic War began in 264 BC, marking the start of a long and arduous struggle between Rome and Carthage. This conflict was primarily fought over control of Sicily, a strategically vital island in the Mediterranean. The war at sea forced Rome, a traditionally land-based power, to rapidly develop a formidable navy. During the First Punic War, Rome invented the corvus, a boarding bridge that allowed their legionaries to fight naval battles as if they were on land. This ingenious device helped negate Carthage's superior seamanship by transforming ship-to-ship encounters into infantry engagements. The corvus was a testament to Roman adaptability and their willingness to innovate in the face of new challenges. The First Punic War concluded in 241 BC with a Roman victory, securing Sicily as its first overseas province. This triumph established Rome as a major naval power and set the stage for future confrontations with Carthage. The peace, however, was merely a temporary lull in the ongoing rivalry between the two great powers. Hamilcar Barca, a Carthaginian general, played a significant role in the First Punic War and later in establishing Carthaginian power in Hispania. He was a brilliant strategist who instilled a deep hatred of Rome in his son, Hannibal. His legacy was one of resilience and a burning desire for Carthaginian resurgence. The Second Punic War, often considered one of the most epic conflicts in ancient history, commenced in 218 BC. This war was largely ignited by Hannibal Barca's audacious attack on Saguntum, a city allied with Rome in Hispania. The conflict would test Rome's very existence. Hannibal Barca famously led his army, including war elephants, across the Alps to invade Italy in 218 BC. This incredible feat of military logistics and endurance stunned the Romans. The image of elephants descending snow-capped peaks remains one of the most enduring symbols of ancient warfare. At the Battle of Trebia in 218 BC, Hannibal inflicted one of his first major defeats on the Roman army. He skillfully used the terrain and a hidden ambush force to outmaneuver and decimate the Roman legions. The cold, swift river contributed to the Roman soldiers' disarray. The Battle of Lake Trasimene in 217 BC saw Hannibal ambush and virtually annihilate a large Roman army under consul Gaius Flaminius. Hannibal's forces concealed themselves in the mist and hills, trapping the Romans between the lake and the Carthaginian lines. The fog of war truly enveloped the unsuspecting Roman legions. The Battle of Cannae in 216 BC is considered one of the greatest tactical victories in military history, where Hannibal utterly crushed a larger Roman force. He employed a double envelopment maneuver, surrounding and destroying the Roman legions in a devastating encirclement. The sheer scale of Roman casualties sent shockwaves throughout the Republic. Following the defeat at Cannae, Rome adopted the Fabian strategy, named after Quintus Fabius Maximus Verrucosus. This cautious approach avoided direct pitched battles with Hannibal, instead focusing on harassment and attrition. Though initially unpopular, this strategy slowly wore down Hannibal's forces and denied him decisive victories. Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus emerged as a brilliant Roman general during the Second Punic War, eventually confronting Hannibal in Africa. He studied Hannibal's tactics and adapted them to his own advantage. Scipio's strategic genius would ultimately turn the tide of the war. The Battle of Zama in 202 BC marked a decisive end of the Second Punic War, with Scipio Africanus defeating Hannibal on African soil. This victory cemented Rome's dominance in the Western Mediterranean. Hannibal's long campaign in Italy finally came to an end, though his military brilliance was never forgotten. Some historians still debate whether Hannibal could have successfully captured Rome after his early victories, or if his logistical limitations made it impossible. The sheer size and resilience of the city's defenses, coupled with Rome's vast manpower reserves, presented a formidable challenge. The question of what might have been continues to intrigue scholars. The Third Punic War, a much shorter conflict, began in 149 BC and was largely driven by Roman fears of a resurgent Carthage. Despite Carthage being a shadow of its former self, Roman leaders like Cato the Elder repeatedly called for its destruction. The phrase "Carthago delenda est," Carthage must be destroyed, echoed through the Roman Senate. Carthage was utterly destroyed by Rome in 146 BC, ending its existence as an independent power. The city was razed, its harbor filled, and legend says salt was sown into the fields to prevent anything from growing. This act symbolized Rome's complete dominance and its ruthless approach to perceived threats. The destruction of Carthage eliminated Rome's greatest rival in the Mediterranean, paving the way for its undisputed hegemony. With Carthage gone, Rome was free to expand its influence across vast new territories. The Mediterranean Sea truly became a Roman lake. During the Punic Wars, Roman military organization evolved significantly, with legions becoming more flexible and adaptable. The manipular system, which allowed for greater maneuverability, proved highly effective against diverse enemies. These innovations laid the groundwork for Rome's future military successes. The acquisition of new provinces during and after the Punic Wars brought immense wealth and resources into Rome. This influx of riches fueled further expansion and urbanization. The spoils of war transformed the Roman economy and society. The Roman Republic's expansion during this period also led to increased social tensions, particularly concerning land distribution and the growing gap between rich and poor. Veteran soldiers often returned to find their farms neglected or seized, contributing to widespread discontent. These internal stresses would eventually challenge the very fabric of the Republic. The influence of Greek culture and philosophy grew significantly in Rome during this era, as Roman legions encountered Hellenistic kingdoms. Roman generals and senators brought back Greek art, literature, and ideas. This cultural exchange enriched Roman society, blending its practical nature with Greek intellectual traditions. Gaius Marius reformed the Roman army, allowing landless citizens to enlist. This pivotal change shifted soldiers' loyalty from the Republic to their generals, profoundly altering the political landscape. Lucius Cornelius Sulla marched on Rome with his legions, an unprecedented act in Republican history. His actions set a dangerous precedent, demonstrating that military might could be used to seize political power. The social war, fought from 91 to 88 BC, was a conflict between Rome and its Italian allies. The allies sought Roman citizenship, which they eventually gained, but at a tremendous cost in lives and resources. Sulla enacted proscriptions, publishing lists of his political enemies who could be killed without trial. This period of terror eliminated many opponents and consolidated Sulla's dictatorial power. The Roman Republic faced increasing political polarization during the late Republic. The Optimates, who favored the aristocracy, clashed frequently with the Populares, who championed the common people. The Gracchi brothers, Tiberius and Gaius, attempted to implement land reforms in the late 2nd century BC. Their efforts to address economic inequality ultimately led to their violent deaths and deepened social divisions. The rise of powerful individual generals, like Pompey and Crassus, challenged the traditional authority of the Senate. These figures amassed personal armies and vast wealth, often acting independently of state control. Spartacus led a major slave revolt from 73 to 71 BC, challenging Roman authority. Though ultimately suppressed, the rebellion highlighted the vast number of enslaved people in Roman society and the constant threat of unrest. The First Triumvirate was an informal political alliance between Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus. This secret agreement allowed them to bypass the Senate and dominate Roman politics for a time. The Battle of Carrhae in 53 BC saw the devastating defeat of Crassus by the Parthians. This loss not only removed a key member of the triumvirate, but also marked a significant military setback for Rome in the east. Julius Caesar famously crossed the Rubicon River in 49 BC, initiating a civil war against Pompey and the Senate. This act was a direct challenge to Roman law, as it was forbidden for a general to bring his army into Italy. The Roman Republic's institutions, designed for a city-state, struggled to govern an expanding empire. The sheer scale of Roman dominion placed immense strain on its political and administrative structures. Some historians still debate whether the Republic's decline was inevitable or if different choices by key figures could have preserved it. The confluence of military ambition, social unrest, and political gridlock proved a powerful force. The widespread use of slavery contributed to economic instability and social tension in the Republic. While providing cheap labor, it also displaced free farmers and created a vast underclass. The Roman Forum, the heart of political and public life, became a stage for increasingly violent political clashes. Street gangs and armed retinues often fought openly in its sacred spaces. The assassination of Julius Caesar on the Ides of March in 44 BC plunged Rome back into civil war. His death, intended to restore the Republic, instead ushered in an even more turbulent period. The Second Triumvirate, officially sanctioned unlike the first, consisted of Octavian, Mark Antony, and Marcus Lecidus. They sought to avenge Caesar's death and consolidate their own power. The Battle of Philippi in 42 BC saw the forces of the Second Triumvirate defeat Brutus and Cassius, Caesar's assassins. This victory effectively ended the hopes of those who wished to restore the old republic. The political patronage system, where powerful individuals protected and supported their clients, grew increasingly influential. This weakened formal institutions as loyalty shifted from the state to personal allegiances. The Roman legions, once citizen militias, transformed into professional armies serving long terms. This change made them more effective fighting forces, but also more susceptible to the influence of their commanders. The late Republic witnessed a significant increase in public corruption. Offices were often bought and sold, and provincial governors frequently exploited their positions for personal gain. The Roman road network, while essential for military movement and trade, also facilitated the rapid spread of civil unrest. News and armies could travel quickly across the vast Roman territories. The concept of cursus honorum, the traditional sequence of public offices, was often disrupted by ambitious individuals. They would bypass established procedures to gain power more quickly. The growing wealth disparity between the Roman elite and the common citizens fueled resentment and unrest. The rich grew richer, while many small farmers lost their land and moved to the crowded cities. The Roman Senate, once the bedrock of the Republic, saw its authority gradually eroded. It became increasingly unable to control the powerful generals and factions vying for dominance. The city of Rome itself grew to an immense size, presenting challenges in governance and resource allocation. Providing food and services for its massive population was a constant strain. The Roman legal system, while sophisticated, struggled to adapt to the rapid changes and civil strife of the late Republic. Justice often became a tool for political retribution. The widespread practice of debt slavery, though periodically reformed, continued to plague the lower classes. Many Romans fell into servitude due to economic hardship. The Roman Republic's expansion brought immense wealth, but also diverse populations with varying loyalties. Integrating these new territories and peoples proved a complex and often violent process. The rise of charismatic demagogues who appealed directly to the masses bypassed traditional political channels. These figures often promised radical reforms, further destabilizing the political scene. The Roman Republic's eventual collapse was not a single event, but a gradual erosion of its foundational principles. The constant cycle of civil wars ultimately proved too much for its institutions to bear. Julius Caesar was born on July 12 or 13, 100 BC, into a patrician family, the gens Julia. Though of noble birth, his family was not particularly wealthy or influential during his early life, a circumstance that would shape his ambitious trajectory. Caesar's early career was marked by political alliances and military service, including a period as a military tribune in Asia. This experience abroad allowed him to hone his leadership skills and gain a deeper understanding of Roman provincial administration. In 60 BC, Julius Caesar formed the first triumvirate with Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus and Marcus Licinius Crassus. This unofficial political alliance combined their immense wealth, military prestige, and political influence to dominate the Roman Republic. Caesar began his Gallic Wars in 58 BC, embarking on a series of military campaigns that would last for 8 years. His relentless pursuit of conquest expanded Rome's territory significantly, reaching as far as the Rhine River and the English Channel. During his campaigns in Gaul, Caesar famously crossed the Rubicon River in 49 BC, uttering the phrase "Alea iacta est," the die is cast. This act of defiance signaled his intention to march on Rome, initiating a civil war against Pompey and the Senate. A battle of Pharsalus in 48 BC was a decisive victory for Julius Caesar over the forces of Pompey. This engagement in central Greece effectively ended Pompey's challenge to Caesar's power, solidifying Caesar's position as the dominant figure in Rome. Caesar pursued Pompey to Egypt, where he became entangled in the dynastic struggle between Cleopatra VII and her brother Ptolemy XIII. His support for Cleopatra ultimately helped her secure the throne, intertwining Roman politics with Egyptian affairs. Upon his return to Rome, Julius Caesar was appointed dictator for life in 44 BC. This unprecedented concentration of power aroused deep suspicion among many senators who feared the demise of the Republic. Caesar implemented numerous reforms during his time as dictator, including the reorganization of the Roman calendar, which is largely the basis for our modern calendar. He also initiated ambitious public works projects and granted citizenship to many provincials. On the Ides of March 15th, 44 BC, Julius Caesar was assassinated by a group of senators in the theater of Pompeii. His death plunged Rome into a new period of civil unrest, ultimately leading to the end of the Republic. The assassination of Caesar, intended to restore the Republic, paradoxically paved the way for the rise of his adopted son, Octavian, and the establishment of the Roman Empire. The conspirators misjudged the public's reverence for Caesar and the underlying instability of the Republic. Some historians still debate the true extent of Caesar's ambition, whether he genuinely sought to dismantle the Republic for personal gain, or if he believed his reforms were necessary to save it from internal decay. His complex motivations continue to be a subject of scholarly inquiry. Caesar's military innovations, such as his emphasis on rapid marches and engineering prowess, significantly influenced Roman warfare for centuries. His legions were renowned for their discipline and effectiveness, a testament to his leadership. The term Caesar later became a title for subsequent Roman emperors, a lasting legacy of his immense influence and the transition he spearheaded. This adoption of his name underscored the imperial authority that followed his reign. Augustus Caesar, born Octavian, was the adopted son and heir of Julius Caesar. His rise to power marked the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire, ushering in an era of profound transformation. The Battle of Actium in 31 BCE saw Octavian defeat the forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. This decisive naval victory consolidated his power, leaving him as the undisputed ruler of the Roman world. In 27 BCE, Octavian formally restored power to the Roman Senate, a strategic move that masked his true intentions. He was then granted the title of Augustus, meaning revered one, signifying his unique and elevated status. The Augustan age is often considered a golden age of Roman literature and art. Poets like Virgil, Horace, and Ovid flourished under his patronage, creating enduring works that celebrated Roman identity and values. Augustus established the Praetorian Guard, an elite unit of soldiers tasked with protecting the emperor. While initially a personal bodyguard, this force would later play a significant, sometimes disruptive role in imperial politics. The Pax Romana, or Roman peace, was a period of relative peace and stability that lasted for over 2 centuries. This era began with the reign of Augustus and facilitated widespread trade, communication, and cultural exchange across the empire. Augustus implemented significant administrative reforms, centralizing control and improving governance throughout the provinces. These changes laid the groundwork for a more efficient and stable imperial bureaucracy. He initiated a vast building program in Rome, famously boasting that he found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble. This transformation included new temples, public baths, and forums, enhancing the city's grandeur. The Roman road network expanded significantly under Augustus, facilitating rapid troop movement and economic activity. These well-engineered roads were vital arteries connecting the vast empire. Augustus reformed the Roman army, transforming it from a collection of citizen militias into a professional standing army. Soldiers served for fixed terms and received regular pay, increasing loyalty and discipline. The Augustan census, conducted periodically, was a comprehensive survey of the empire's population and resources. This data was crucial for taxation, conscription, and effective administration. Some historians debate the extent to which the Pax Romana truly represented universal peace, noting ongoing border conflicts and internal rebellions. Yet, for the vast majority of citizens within the empire's core, it was an unprecedented period of tranquility. The cult of the emperor began to develop during Augustus's reign, with temples dedicated to Roma and Augustus appearing throughout the empire. This fostered a sense of unity and loyalty to the imperial power. Augustus introduced moral legislation aimed at restoring traditional Roman values, promoting marriage, and increasing birth rates. These laws reflected his concern for the perceived decline in Roman society. The first Roman fire brigade, the Vigiles, was established by Augustus to combat the frequent and devastating fires in Rome. This professional force also served as a night watch, maintaining order. Augustus carefully cultivated his image as a modest and traditional Roman despite wielding immense power. His public persona was a key element in maintaining popular support for his new form of government. The Res Gestae Divi Augusti, or the Deeds of the Divine Augustus, is a monumental inscription detailing his achievements. It offers a unique, albeit biased, insight into how Augustus wished to be remembered. The reign of Augustus saw the Roman Empire reach its greatest territorial extent in Europe, expanding into parts of Germania and consolidating control over Hispania and Gaul. These expansions secured vital resources and trade routes. The establishment of the Principate by Augustus was a yet profound shift from the Republic, where he presented himself as the first citizen rather than an absolute monarch. This delicate balance of power allowed for long-term stability. Augustus's long and successful reign of over 40 years provided the stability necessary for the Roman Empire to flourish. His policies and reforms laid the enduring foundations for imperial rule. Roman citizens woke with the sun, their day often beginning before dawn truly broke. The city's rhythms were dictated by natural light, with most activities concluding by late afternoon. Life unfolded in a predictable, comforting pattern for many. The insulae, multi-story apartment blocks, housed the majority of Rome's population. These towering structures, often poorly constructed, were a testament to the city's incredible density. From their upper floors, one could gaze upon a bustling, vibrant urban landscape. Wealthy Romans resided in elegant domus, private homes adorned with frescoes and mosaics. These spacious dwellings offered a stark contrast to the cramped insulae, providing quiet courtyards and luxurious living spaces. Within their walls, families enjoyed a life of relative comfort and privacy. Breakfast for most Romans was a simple affair, often just bread dipped in wine or olive oil. This light meal provided sustenance for the morning's labors without burdening the stomach. It was a practical start to a busy day. The main meal of the day, cena, was typically eaten in the late afternoon. For the elite, this could be a lavish banquet lasting for hours, featuring exotic dishes and fine wines. For others, it was a more modest but still substantial repast shared with family. Garum, a fermented fish sauce, was a ubiquitous condiment in Roman cuisine. Its pungent, savory flavor was added to almost everything, from vegetables to meat dishes. This unique ingredient defined much of the Roman palate. Public baths, known as thermae, were central to Roman social life. Beyond mere hygiene, they served as places for exercise, relaxation, and gossip. The warm waters offered a soothing escape from the city's clamor. Roman education began at home for young children, often taught by their parents or a household tutor. Basic literacy and numeracy were emphasized from an early age. This foundational learning prepared them for more formal schooling or apprenticeships. Boys from affluent families might attend a grammatica school, where they studied Greek and Latin literature. These institutions aimed to cultivate eloquence and a deep appreciation for classical texts. It was a rigorous path toward intellectual refinement. Girls, even from wealthy families, typically received their education at home, focusing on domestic skills and household management. Their training prepared them for their future roles as wives and mothers. This societal expectation shaped their learning experiences. The Roman Forum served as the bustling heart of the city's public life. Here, legal proceedings, political speeches, and commercial transactions unfolded daily. It was a vibrant stage where the pulse of Rome could be felt. Gladiatorial contests held in the Colosseum were a major form of entertainment for all social classes. The spectacle of combat, though brutal, captivated the Roman populace. These games offered a thrilling diversion from daily life. Chariot races in the Circus Maximus were another immensely popular pastime. Crowds numbering in the hundreds of thousands would gather to cheer on their favorite teams. The thunder of hooves and the roar of the crowd created an unforgettable atmosphere. Roman families were patriarchal, with the paterfamilias, the eldest male, holding significant authority. His decisions guided the household and its members. This structure provided a clear hierarchy within the family unit. Slavery was an integral part of Roman society, with enslaved people performing a vast array of tasks. They worked in mines, on farms, in homes, and even as educated tutors. Their labor underpinned much of the Roman economy. Roman women, particularly those of higher status, held more social freedom than in many other ancient societies. They could own property, engage in business, and attend public events. Their influence, though often indirect, was significant. The Vestal Virgins, priestesses of the goddess Vesta, held a unique ... in revered position in Roman society. They maintained the sacred fire of Rome, a symbol of the city's enduring prosperity. Their purity and dedication were paramount. Clientela, a system of patronage, permeated Roman social relations. Less powerful individuals, clients, would offer support to a patron in exchange for protection and favors. This intricate web of obligations bound society together. Roman law was a highly developed and influential system, providing a framework for justice and order. Its principles, such as the presumption of innocence, continue to resonate in legal systems today. It aims to create a just society. The Roman army, even within the city, was a visible presence, maintaining order and defending the empire. Soldiers were a common sight, their discipline and training evident. They were a constant reminder of Rome's military might. Public sanitation in Rome was surprisingly advanced for its time, with complex sewer systems like the Cloaca Maxima. These engineering marvels helped to remove waste from the city. They were vital for public health. The Roman calendar, though refined over centuries, dictated the rhythm of religious festivals and public holidays. These celebrations punctuated the year, offering moments of respite and communal gathering. They were deeply woven into the fabric of daily life. Some historians still debate the precise population of Imperial Rome at its peak. Estimates vary widely, but most agree it was one of the largest cities in the ancient world. Its sheer size was a marvel of antiquity. The Roman practice of leaving graffiti on public walls and monuments offers a fascinating glimpse into everyday life. These casual inscriptions reveal jokes, declarations of love, and political opinions. They are a direct voice from the past. The Roman Empire was renowned for its impressive engineering feats. These innovations allowed for the growth and sustainment of its vast territories, connecting distant lands and providing essential services to its populace. Their legacy in stone and concrete still stands as a testament to their ingenuity. The Aqua Appia was Rome's first aqueduct, completed in 312 BC. This underground channel brought fresh water from springs outside the city. A vital resource for a growing urban center, its hidden path ensured a secure and steady supply, even in times of conflict. Roman aqueducts often used a system of arches to span valleys and maintain a consistent gradient. These elegant structures, like the Pont du Gard in modern-day France, are enduring symbols of Roman architectural skill. They carried water across vast distances, nourishing cities and agricultural lands. The Romans built an extensive network of roads, estimated to be over 250,000 miles long. These paved arteries facilitated rapid troop movements, efficient trade, and communication across the sprawling empire. Many modern European roads still follow the paths laid out by Roman engineers. Roman roads were constructed with multiple layers of materials, including large stones, gravel, and sand. This meticulous layering provided durability and drainage, allowing the roads to withstand heavy traffic and the passage of centuries. Their robust construction speaks to a deep understanding of practical engineering. The Pantheon in Rome, completed around 126 AD, features the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. Its oculus, an open circular hole at the dome's apex, allows light to stream into the vast interior, creating a celestial connection. This architectural marvel continues to inspire awe with its perfect proportions and enduring strength. Roman concrete, or opus caementicium, was remarkably durable due to its unique composition, including volcanic ash. This material allowed for the creation of massive and complex structures that have withstood millennia. Its strength surpassed that of modern concrete in many respects, a testament to lost knowledge. Public baths, or thermae, were central to Roman social life and hygiene. These grand complexes included not only bathing areas, but also gyms, libraries, and gardens, serving as community hubs. They were places for relaxation, exercise, and intellectual discourse, open to all citizens. The Colosseum, originally known as the Flavian Amphitheater, was completed in 80 AD. This massive arena could hold over 50,000 spectators for gladiatorial contests and public spectacles. Its intricate system of ramps, trapdoors, and elevators showcased advanced engineering for crowd control and dramatic effect. Roman bridges, like the Ponce Aemilius, were often built with massive stone arches, designed to withstand powerful river currents. These sturdy crossings connected cities and facilitated commerce, demonstrating a mastery of hydraulic engineering. Their enduring presence allowed for the free flow of goods and people. The Romans developed sophisticated sewage systems, including the Cloaca Maxima, one of the world's earliest. This extensive network of drains helped to remove waste from the city, contributing significantly to public health. It was a vital, though often unseen, component of urban infrastructure. Some historians still debate the exact composition of Roman concrete and whether its secrets have been fully rediscovered. The exceptional longevity of structures like the Pantheon suggests a material science that was incredibly advanced for its time. Replicating its exact properties remains a challenge for modern engineers. Roman siege engines, such as the ballista and onager, were powerful examples of their mechanical engineering prowess. These machines could hurl large projectiles with immense force, playing a crucial role in Roman military campaigns. Their design showcased an understanding of leverage and kinetic energy. Argi. The Romans were pioneers in developing central heating systems, known as hypocausts, for their public baths and private villas. Hot air circulated beneath raised floors and through wall cavities, providing warmth. This innovative system offered comfort and luxury to the Roman elite. The construction of Trajan's column, completed in 113 AD, involved lifting massive marble blocks to great heights. The intricate spiral relief depicts scenes from Trajan's Dacian Wars, a continuous narrative carved into the stone. Its engineering and artistic achievement are still admired today. Roman lighthouses, like the Tower of Hercules in Spain, guided ships safely to port across the Mediterranean. These monumental structures demonstrated an understanding of maritime navigation and engineering. Their enduring flames offered reassurance to sailors navigating treacherous waters. The Romans utilized a device called a groma for surveying and laying out straight lines for roads and buildings. This simple yet effective tool allowed for remarkable precision in their construction projects. It was essential for creating the geometrically precise layouts seen in Roman camps and cities. The construction of Hadrian's Wall, begun in 122 AD, stretched 73 miles across northern Britain. This formidable defensive barrier included forts, mile castles, and turrets, showcasing immense organizational and engineering effort. It marked the northern frontier of the Roman Empire for centuries. The Roman arch was a fundamental element in their architecture, allowing for wider spans and greater load-bearing capacity than simple post and lintel construction. This structural innovation was key to their aqueducts, bridges, and monumental buildings. It distributed weight efficiently, creating enduring forms. Many Roman cities were laid out on a grid plan with two main intersecting streets, the Cardo, north-south, and the Decumanus, east-west. This organized urban planning facilitated efficient movement and administration. It reflected a methodical approach to city development. The Roman Dome, perfected in structures like the Pantheon, allowed for vast, open interior spaces without internal supports. This architectural innovation created a sense of grandeur and openness previously unattainable. It symbolized the power and ambition of the Roman state. The use of cranes, often powered by human treadmills, was essential for lifting heavy stones during Roman construction. These ingenious machines demonstrated an understanding of leverage and mechanical advantage. They allowed for the erection of monumental structures with remarkable speed. Roman theaters and amphitheaters often incorporated sophisticated acoustic designs, allowing voices to carry clearly to large audiences. This attention to detail enhanced the spectator experience. It reflected a deep understanding of sound propagation within large open spaces. The Roman circus, like the Circus Maximus in Rome, was designed for chariot races and other public spectacles. Its elongated oval shape and tiered seating could accommodate hundreds of thousands of spectators. It was a testament to Roman engineering for mass entertainment. The Romans developed advanced water management systems for agriculture, including irrigation canals and drainage ditches. These systems allowed for increased food production to feed a growing population. They transformed arid landscapes into fertile farmlands. The construction of Roman harbors, such as Portus near Ostia, involved complex engineering to create sheltered basins and breakwaters. These vital hubs facilitated maritime trade and naval operations. They were crucial for maintaining the flow of goods and resources across the empire. Roman military camps were often meticulously planned and constructed, following a standardized layout. These temporary settlements could be erected quickly and efficiently, providing secure bases for legions on campaign. Their design said practical engineering for military logistics. The Romans employed a technique called opus reticulatum, a form of brickwork using small, pyramid-shaped tufa blocks set in a net-like pattern. This decorative and structurally sound method added aesthetic appeal to their buildings. It demonstrated a refined approach to construction materials. The Roman hypogeum, an underground network of tunnels and chambers beneath the Colosseum, housed animals, gladiators, and stage machinery. This complex system allowed for dramatic entrances and scene changes during spectacles. It was a marvel of subterranean engineering. The Romans developed a system of standardized weights and measures, facilitating trade and construction across the empire. This consistency promoted economic efficiency and accuracy in building projects. It was a foundational element of their organized society. The Roman legion was the largest military unit of the Roman army. It was a formidable fighting force, renowned for its discipline and tactical prowess, a cornerstone of Rome's enduring power. At its peak, a full-strength legion comprised around 5,200 heavily armed infantrymen. These soldiers were the backbone of Roman expansion, their synchronized movements a testament to rigorous training. Each legion was typically divided into 10 cohorts, with the first cohort being double strength. This organizational structure allowed for flexible deployment and concentrated force where needed on the battlefield. Within each cohort, there were 6 centuries, each led by a centurion. These seasoned officers were the heart of the legion, responsible for training, discipline, and leading their men in the thick of battle. The Roman army was known for its meticulous marching camps, often constructed nightly. These temporary fortifications, complete with ramparts and ditches, provided security and a sense of order even in hostile territory. Legionaries carried a heavy burden, including their armor, weapons, and tools for building camps. This physical endurance was a hallmark of their training, preparing them for long marches and arduous campaigns. The pilum was a heavy javelin used by Roman legionaries. Its unique design, with a soft iron shank that bent on impact, rendered it unusable by the enemy once thrown. The gladius was the standard short sword of the Roman infantry. This versatile weapon, used for thrusting and cutting, was highly effective in the close-quarters combat favored by the legions. Roman soldiers were paid, though their wages were not always high. Their service also brought opportunities for plunder and land grants upon retirement, a strong incentive for loyalty. Discipline within the legions was extremely strict, sometimes even brutal. Punishments like decimation, though rare, served as a stark reminder of the consequences of cowardice or insubordination. The Roman army pioneered many engineering feats, including the construction of roads, bridges, and siege engines. Their ability to build rapidly allowed them to move troops and supplies efficiently across vast distances. Frontier life for a Roman soldier was often monotonous, punctuated by periods of intense activity. Guarding the vast borders of the empire required constant vigilance against barbarian incursions. The Limes Germanicus was a series of fortifications that marked the Roman Empire's frontier in Germania. This extensive system of walls, watchtowers, and forts protected Roman territory from Germanic tribes. Life in a frontier fort could be isolating, far from the comforts of Roman cities. soldiers often formed strong bonds with their comrades, creating a close-knit community in remote outposts. Some historians still debate the exact reasons for the Roman army's eventual decline in effectiveness. Factors like the increasing reliance on mercenary forces and a decrease in citizen recruitment are often cited. The Roman army's logistics were remarkably sophisticated for its time. Supplying legions across vast distances required immense planning and an extensive network of roads and supply depots. Military service was a path to Roman citizenship for many non-Romans. This policy helped integrate diverse populations into the empire and swelled the ranks of the legions. The Praetorian Guard was a special force of elite soldiers, serving as the emperor's personal bodyguards. Their proximity to power sometimes led to their involvement in political intrigues and coups. Roman military training was continuous, even during peacetime. Soldiers practiced drills, weapon handling, and marching to maintain peak physical condition and tactical readiness. The auxilia were non-citizen units that supported the legions, often specializing in archery, cavalry, or light infantry. They played a crucial role in complementing the heavy infantry of the legions. The Roman army adapted its tactics and equipment over centuries. From the early manupular system to the later legionary formations, Rome consistently sought to refine its military machine. Siege warfare was a highly developed aspect of Roman military strategy. They employed a variety of sophisticated machines, such as catapults, ballista, and siege towers, to overcome fortified cities. The Roman military often established veteran colonies in conquered territories. These settlements helped to Romanize new lands and provided a place for retired soldiers to live and farm. The eagle standard, or aquila, was the most sacred possession of a Roman legion. Its loss in battle was considered a profound dishonor, and legions would go to great lengths to recover it. Roman military campaigns often involved extensive use of naval power. Fleets transported troops and supplies, protected trade routes, and engaged in sea battles to secure Roman dominance. The challenges of defending vast borders stretched the Roman army thin in later centuries. The sheer length of the frontiers made it difficult to respond quickly to multiple threats simultaneously. The Roman army's engineering prowess was evident in its ability to bridge rivers and construct temporary camps with remarkable speed. These skills were vital for rapid deployment and secure encampment. The Roman military was a powerful engine of cultural exchange. Soldiers from different regions, serving together, often spread Roman customs, language, and architecture to new lands. The concept of the Pax Romana, or Roman peace, was largely enforced by the strength of the Roman legions. Their presence deterred rebellion and external threats, allowing for periods of stability. Roman philosophy was deeply influenced by Greek thought, particularly Stoicism and Epicureanism. These schools of thought offered Romans frameworks for understanding the world and finding inner peace amidst life's challenges. The practical Roman mind often sought applications for these philosophies in daily conduct and civic duty. Lucius Annaeus Seneca, known simply as Seneca, was a prominent Stoic philosopher and playwright. His writings, including Moral Letters to Lucilius, explored themes of virtue, tranquility, and the acceptance of fate. He believed that true freedom came from within, through mastering one's emotions and desires. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, was also a devoted Stoic philosopher. His personal reflections, collected in Meditations, offer a profound insight into his attempts to live a virtuous life amidst the burdens of imperial rule. He wrote these thoughts for himself as a guide to maintaining composure and ethical conduct. Epicureanism, founded by the Greek philosopher Epicurus, also found adherents in Rome. This philosophy advocated for the pursuit of pleasure, not in a hedonistic sense, but as the absence of pain and mental disturbance. It encouraged a simple life, focused on friendship and intellectual pursuits. Titus Lucretius Carus, a Roman poet and philosopher, wrote the epic didactic poem De Rerum Natura, On the Nature of Things. This work eloquently explained Epicurean philosophy, including atomic theory and the nature of the universe. It sought to free people from the fear of death and the gods through rational understanding. Roman literature flourished, drawing inspiration from Greek models but developing its own distinct voice. Poets like Virgil, Horace, and Ovid created enduring works that shaped Western literary traditions. Their epic poems, odes, and elegies captured the spirit of their age. Virgil's Aeneid, an epic poem, tells the story of Aeneas, a Trojan hero who journeys to Italy and becomes the ancestor of the Romans. This work served as a national epic, linking Rome's origins to the legendary past and providing a mythical foundation for its greatness. It was intended to rival Homer's epics. Horace, a celebrated lyric poet, wrote odes and satires that explored themes of love, friendship, and the simple pleasures of life. His famous phrase, Carpe diem, meaning seize the day, encourages living in the present moment. His wit and elegance made him a favorite among his contemporaries. Ovid, another influential poet, is best known for his Metamorphoses, a collection of myths and legends presented as a continuous narrative of transformations. His playful and often irreverent style brought new life to ancient stories. He also wrote on the art of love and seduction. Roman religion was polytheistic, with a pantheon of gods and goddesses largely adopted from the Greeks but given Roman names. Jupiter, Juno, and Minerva formed the Capitoline Triad, the most important deities worshipped in Rome. Rituals and sacrifices were central to Roman religious practice. The Vestal Virgins were an order of priestesses dedicated to the goddess Vesta, guardian of the sacred fire of Rome. They were chosen from aristocratic families at a young age and served for 30 years. Upholding vows of chastity. Their purity was believed to be essential for the well-being of the state. Some historians still debate the precise extent to which Roman religious beliefs were deeply personal versus primarily civic and ritualistic. While public ceremonies were crucial for maintaining the Pax Deorum, the peace of the gods, individual Romans likely held varying degrees of personal devotion and superstition. Emperor Augustus introduced the cult of the Roman emperor, promoting the idea of the emperor as a divine figure. This practice served to unify the vast empire and legitimize imperial rule. Temples were built and sacrifices made in honor of the living emperor and deified former emperors. Mystery cults. The originating from the East gained popularity in Rome, offering initiates personal salvation and a deeper spiritual experience. Cults like those of Isis, Mithras, and Cybele provided a sense of community and promised an afterlife. Their secret rituals often involved elaborate ceremonies. The cult of Mithras, a Persian god of light and truth, was particularly popular among Roman soldiers. Its rituals often took place in underground temples called Mithraea, adorned with images of Mithras slaying a bull. This cult emphasized discipline, loyalty, and courage. Christianity emerged in the Roman Empire during the 1st century CE, initially as a small Jewish sect. Its monotheistic nature and refusal to worship the Roman gods or emperor led to periods of persecution. Early Christians often met in secret. The Edict of Milan, issued in 313 CE by Emperors Constantine I and Licinius, granted religious toleration throughout the Roman Empire. This landmark decree effectively ended the persecution of Christians and allowed them to practice their faith openly. It marked a turning point for Christianity. Emperor Theodosius I made Nicene Christianity the state religion of the Roman Empire in 380 CE. This decision solidified Christianity's dominant position and led to the gradual suppression of traditional Roman paganism. Temples were closed and pagan practices discouraged. Despite the rise of Christianity, elements of Roman paganism persisted for centuries, particularly in rural areas. Old traditions and superstitions often intertwined with Christian practices, creating a unique syncretic culture. The transition was a gradual process rather than an abrupt shift. The Roman Empire faced a series of barbarian incursions from the 3rd century CE onward, notably from the Goths and Vandals. These constant pressures on its borders strained military resources and diverted attention from internal affairs, slowly eroding the empire's stability. The crisis of the 3rd century, from 235 to 284 CE, saw at least 26 legitimate emperors, or imperial claimants, rise and fall. This period of intense political instability and civil war weakened the central government, making it difficult to respond effectively to external threats and internal unrest. Diocletian implemented the Tetrarchy in 293 CE, dividing the empire into eastern and western halves, each ruled by an Augustus and a Caesar. This administrative reform aimed to improve governance and defense across the vast territories, but it also formalized a growing divergence between the two regions. Constantine the Great moved the capital of the Roman Empire to Byzantium in 330 CE, renaming it Constantinople. This strategic relocation to the eastern half of the empire acknowledged the growing importance and wealth of the East, while the West faced increasing challenges. The Battle of Adrianople in 378 CE resulted in a decisive defeat for the Roman army against the Goths, and the death of Emperor Valens. This catastrophic loss demonstrated the vulnerability of the Western Roman Empire and marked a turning point in its ability to defend its borders. The Visigoths sacked the city of Rome in 410 CE under the leadership of Alaric. This event sent shockwaves throughout the Roman world as the Eternal City, which had stood unconquered for nearly 8 centuries, fell to a barbarian force. Vandals sacked Rome again in 455 CE, reportedly for 14 days, seizing immense treasures and taking captives. This second major sack, within half a century, further illustrated the Western Empire's diminished power and its inability to protect its symbolic heart. The last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer in 476 CE. This event is traditionally considered the end of the Western Roman Empire, though its decline had been a gradual process spanning centuries. The Eastern Roman Empire, often known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to flourish for another 1,000 years after the fall of the West. It preserved Roman law, culture, and institutions, serving as a bridge between the ancient and medieval worlds. Justinian I, who reigned from 527 to 565 CE, codified Roman law into the Corpus Juris Civilis, or body of civil law. This monumental legal compilation preserved the vast heritage of Roman jurisprudence and became the foundation for legal systems across Europe. Latin evolved into the Romance languages, including Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian, long after the fall of the Western Empire. The enduring linguistic legacy of Rome testifies to its profound cultural impact across the continent. Roman engineering innovations, such as concrete, aqueducts, and road networks, continued to influence construction and infrastructure for centuries. The impressive durability of these structures speaks to the advanced practical knowledge of Roman builders. The concept of citizenship, with its associated rights and responsibilities, as developed by the Romans, profoundly shaped later political thought. This idea of a shared civic identity rather than solely ethnic or tribal belonging, was a cornerstone of Roman society. Some historians still debate the primary cause of the Western Roman Empire's collapse, attributing it variously to economic decline, military overstretch, internal corruption, or climate change. The complexity of its fall suggests a confluence of many contributing factors. The Roman Catholic Church inherited much of its administrative structure from the Roman Empire, including dioceses and a hierarchical organization. This ecclesiastical continuity provided stability and order in the fragment. Post-Roman West. The Roman numeral system, though largely replaced by Arabic numerals, was used across Europe for over a millennium. Its presence can still be seen in clock faces, book chapters, and regnal numbers, a subtle echo of Rome's enduring influence. The idea of a universal empire, rooted in Roman imperial traditions, inspired later European rulers like Charlemagne and Napoleon. The dream of recreating a unified, powerful realm under a single authority persisted for centuries after Rome's direct rule ended. The Roman legal principle of innocent until proven guilty is a cornerstone of many modern justice systems. This fundamental concept of fairness and due process originated in the sophisticated legal framework developed by Roman jurists. The Roman calendar, reformed by Julius Caesar, forms the basis of the Gregorian calendar, used across much of the world today. Its structure of 12 months and a leap year every 4 years remains a direct descendant of Roman astronomical and practical knowledge.